Welcome back everyone to my IDC 34 run. This is the final 6th round where I'm up against EarthP0w3R at the top of your screen, who is playing WFN Aggro, and I'm on the bottom of your screen playing LWD Hydro Hurricane with Kick Assault. EarthP0w3R is going to win the die roll, but I'm gonna have the first play on turn 1 with Laura Giga. This is gonna be important for slowing him down a bit. He is playing aggro after all, so any defensive card, blocker or snare that I can see early is a big help. Doesn't have a turn 2 play here, which is gonna hurt him. He does at least have a turn 3 Aquavolcus, which is at least something. But now I'm gonna have both Paleolysis and Laura Giga on the field, so that's already much harder to deal with. And then he's gonna ramp himself with Bronzerum Tribe with no other follow-up. And now I'm gonna play Cranium Clamp to get rid of 2 cards in his hand. I'm not really afraid of Archi de la Serna. If he has it, he has it, and if not, I get a huge advantage here. Removing 2 of his options. With 1 card I got rid of 2 potential threats. That's, especially at this stage in the game, that's pretty good. Now he's gonna go in with Aquavolcus, and I'm gonna block this with Laura Giga. And this turn I will be able to set up the Mistrias. And if he doesn't have an answer to it, I'm gonna be able to start snowballing. So let's see what he has in hand, if he has Rebirth or Chagalzor. That's probably what he needs right now, one of those 2. He's thinking for quite a while. Okay, I suppose he was debating between Pyrofighter and Aquavolcus. And yeah, he opted to go for a more aggressive route. He wants to close the game a bit earlier. Doesn't attack with Bronzerum Tribe, which is interesting. I suppose he doesn't want me to run it over with Mistrias. This turn I could summon Paleolysis and Gigaslug. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Just set up 2 more blockers to stand in the way. So now even if he has Chagalzor, I'm gonna have a Giga Slug or even a Searing Wave. He's not gonna kill. He's at least gonna keep the Mistrias alive. Now let's see if he drew a card which is better than Pyrofighter Magnus. He's debating between Magnus and whatever card he drew, so it must be somewhat decent. Maybe it's something like Unicorn Fish or Aqua Surfer. or Lucky Ball. And yeah, it's an Aqua Surfer, which is gonna allow him to bounce the Palaulisis. I think I am going to block here with Giga Slug. Yeah, that's good. Allows me to save another shield. This turn I'm gonna be on 7 mana, so maybe I'm gonna summon Palaulisis again and cast Miraculous Snare. Oh, and it looks like I drew into another Palaulisis, which I'm gonna be able to summon as well. Now even Searing Wave will do nothing. He looks like it's a Jaggalzor, so that's not gonna do too much. This turn I could be summoning Petrova. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna summon Belex instead. I'm gonna summon Belex first to get back the Hydro, and then I'm gonna summon Petrova. Oh, okay, yeah, that's even better. I'm gonna cast the first Hydro Hurricane to send back 4 cards in his mana zone and 1 card from the field. Then next turn I can cast another one. He's just gonna charge and pass. So here I have 2 options. I can either go for Miraculous Plague or Hydro Hurricane, but probably gonna do Hydro Hurricane just to bounce all of the mana. I'm not worried about the 1 Bronze Arm Tribe. And that was probably a Soul Swap. And we get a Soul Swap again, and he's just gonna use it to charge his own Bronze Arm Tribe. And yeah, he's gonna concede at this point, and we're gonna go to the second game where he gets to start again. So let's see if he's gonna have a turn to play this time around. And he does have a turn to play in the form of Gonta, which I'm probably just gonna bounce with Spiral Gate. He's just gonna resummon it, and this turn I'm just gonna summon Giga Slug. And he's gonna bounce it with Unicorn Fish, which will allow him to go in for 1 shield. Now this turn I might have to actually charge this Mysterious to summon both Giga Slug and Laura Giga, which is very unfortunate because I would much prefer to hold on to this Mysterious for later. Okay, I guess that works as well. I'm just gonna snare his Gonta. I suppose I really wanna summon this Mysterious on turn 5. Otherwise, if I summon Giga Slug in Laura Giga, he could most likely have a Searing Wave, which would get rid of all of them. Now it's just gonna summon Aqua Vulcus and Locomotiver. I'm gonna snipe his Miraculous Rebirth with Locomotiver. And also trade into his Unicorn Fish. And now he's gonna go in with Quixotic and Aqua Vulcus. This turn I could go for Palolysis and Giga Slug here. Actually thinking about charging a Laura Giga so I can summon Palolysis and Laura Giga. But honestly, I'd much rather summon a Pala and a Giga Slug. Don't know why I'm thinking about charging a Giga Slug. I would probably charge Giga Pulsar, to be honest. Yeah, especially since if he has a Soul Swap he can get Twin Cannon out. Giga Slug would be much more useful. And yeah, I decide to go for Laura Giga and Pala for some reason. Maybe I'm trying to play more around Searing Wave. So now he's gonna play Aqua Vulcus into Spiral Gate, which, yeah, is gonna remove a blocker and allow him to go for game. And yeah, we're gonna go into game 3. That Spiral Gate did come in clutch indeed. If he wasn't for that, I would have most likely taken over the game the next turn. This hand doesn't look like much of a hand right now, at least. Hopefully I draw into a Pala or Snare. And I do draw into a Palolysis, which is very nice. He will have a Gonta on turn 2, which is going to allow him to apply some early pressure. Here he's just going to summon Bronze Tribe and go for a shield. Now have to decide between Cranium Clamp and Palolysis. And honestly, I'm just gonna summon another Palolysis, just to have them both be above 4000 power. Now he's gonna need something like Unicorn Fish or Coral to get rid of one of them. He could also just build a board, but he does have the unicorn fish, so he will go in, and I'm gonna get a Giga Bars out of shields, which will dispatch the soul swap from his hand. And I'm just gonna simply resummon the Palolysis. Sniping this soul swap was pretty good because that's gonna mean he's not gonna be able to access his Chagalzor and Twin Cannon from his mana zone. And now he's just gonna summon a Copper Locust, which is pretty interesting. Here I'm just gonna summon Laura Giga. Now I even have a blocker for Copper Locust. Next turn I can even go for Miraculous Plague. And he's not summoning anything, so I don't know what he has in hand. But I'm just gonna take this time to set up Mistrias and also summon Bilex. And now I'm gonna be having 4 blockers against 4 creatures. Next turn I can go for Hydro Hurricane, bounce most of his mana. And he's just gonna summon Aqua Vulpus. And pass the turn. So this turn I can already go for Hydro. Just bounce 5 cards from his mana zone. And the next turn I can even do a Miraculous Plague. It looks like I'm just gonna play Miraculous Plague first, which is interesting. I guess I wanna get rid of the field pressure first. And I'm just gonna give him the Chagalzor and the Twin Cannon. So let's see what he could possibly do, maybe summon a Corail. I don't think there is a way for him to come back from this one. He's just gonna recharge the Chagalzor I gave him. I suppose he's just gonna play 2 Gontas to it. But yeah, that's gonna be in vain because I'm just gonna cast Hydro Hurricane, send back all of his mana in one of the Gontas, and I can even send the other Gonta with a Spiral Gate. Now at this point I could even think about going in for shields. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. He will get an Aqua Surfer here, so he's probably gonna bounce one of the Palolysis. But still, he can't really afford to go in with his creatures with the blockers I have on the field. And yeah, he's just gonna concede at this point. But yeah, that means I have 5 matches won and 1 match lost, which means I'm guaranteed for top 8. My list should be on the screen now for anyone who is interested, and until next time, see ya.